YouTube, how are we doing? Welcome back to JMS on Cars, where you'll find me today at Swift Performance, my favorite place in the world. I've got Russ standing behind me. He is part owner of Swift Performance, and this is Russ's personal collection. Now, Russ and Tim, who own Swift, are BMW specialists, absolute geniuses, and they build track cars, performance cars here. They can do everything to your BMW or whatever car you've got. Source parts, fit them, and turn them into absolute track weapons. And we've got a couple of cars parked outside, but the best bits are in behind these closed doors.
How you doing?
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Russ has been hard at work just now. We've actually been back and forth to Russ's house, moving some of his cars here. This is what, 70% of it?
Probably, yeah.
Russ, let's have a look at this very mental Datsun truck first.
Yes, that was a bit of a mad purchase one Christmas. Internet's a dangerous place. Yeah, had an appetite for a project, bought that. It was a bit of a wreck when I got it. I mean, it doesn't look much better now, obviously.
It looks good. I like it. It looks great.
We also bought an MX-5 turbo. Had a guy put all the driveline into it, so the chassis has been modified to take all that, and it was all galvanised afterwards. So although it looks a bit rough and ready around the outside, underneath the chassis and that's all galvanised. Had all the rust done in the cab and everything. So it's a bit of fun. I haven't really had the time to make it how I wanted it, but it works. It's been fun over the summer.
And it's fun to drive?
It's really fun to drive,
Rear-wheel drive?
About 220 horsepower, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
What a thing. I really like it. I think it's fantastic.
It is a bit of fun.
And behind us, we've got one of the first of many BMWs that you'll see today, Russ's E46 cab.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a problem when it comes to buying E46s.
Yeah.
They come up and I can't help myself, so I've got probably 5 now. Yeah. So 3 cabs. Obviously, one's the yellow one that appeared on
Joe Achilles'
channel, which I'm breaking.
Okay.
Another one that I picked up last week. God knows what I'm going to do with that. But having like 2 track-orientated M3s, you just can't have enough spare engines. But this is basically my daily.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice thing.
It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in pretty
It's in really good
condition on the outside.
Well, it was an SMG when I bought it, which was playing up, so I've converted it to manual. Yeah. I've done quite a lot of work to this car actually. You know, daily needs to just drive nice, doesn't it?
Of course, and it's a great summer daily as well.
Yeah, it's not so good in this sort of winter period. You open the door and water pours in through the top of the apex. It's not a very winter friendly car.
But we love an E46 M3. They are fantastic, and what a great play as well. Yeah. M3 PGT. I'm excited about this one because Russ has some of the most crazy track build BMWs probably in the country. In here, let's go and take a look. Well, should we start off with your baby?
Yeah.
The M2 competition Shera Build?
Yep.
Swift/Shera Build?
Yeah, Club Sport. Yeah, we opted to do a Club Sport because I was using it quite a bit. But I think next year I will try and take it over to Germany and get the Shera cage put in and stuff.
And how deep are you on this build? What are we talking?
90 something.
So this is almost what, 100 grand build?
Well, with M2 prices as they were, then yeah, it would have been the car and the price of the car and probably the same or a bit more again. The parts add up, you know, carbon roofs, bonnets and boots and Shera bits and stuff. It's got the small kinematics and the Shera nitrons, underneath. Diff lift kit, it's Shera as well. Yeah. In the fullness of time, we will probably go full kinematics on that car. Okay. This car is a keeper. I'm not ever selling this car.
Okay. And so, what kind of time can you get around the ring in this?
Probably not quick enough because in the back of my mind, obviously, you've got the value of it in your head.
Of course.
But
this is capable of doing.
It's capable probably of low sevens, but not with me in it, to be fair.
My favourite part is obviously the gold and silver BBS E88s. You've got carbon fibre everywhere. Yeah. Rear cage. Recaro buckets. Is it a Shera wing?
Yeah.
Shera wing.
So we do the cage with Pinnacle Motorsport. They make the cages for us with our branding and stuff on. There's nothing I would rather fit in place of that, to be honest, other than the full welding Shera cage. Yeah. Which is probably the next step for next year. Got carbon intakes under the bonnet as well.
Yeah, actually. So you guys are making your own carbon intake in-house now.
We're not making our own in-house, but we work with a company, Infinity Designs, who are, exceptional at what they do, and we're, fortunate enough to be involved with that. We've done a lot of R&D with them, providing vehicles to scan and stuff. But yeah, their attention to detail is, second to none.
And performance-wise?
So this car's just mapped at the minute, so it's putting out about 520. In reality, that's...
Have you done you've done all the crank hub stuff?
Done the crank hub, yeah. Okay. Done the crank hub.
This is basically as far as you can take until you start kind of ripping the whole interior out. How does it drive off the track? It's okay, you can drive to and from the ring relatively comfortably?
I mean, once a year we do a road trip down to the Alps. Yeah. So after a destination Nürburgring track day, a group of us go to either Austria, Italy, have a nice drive round. So for that sort of journey, it does both jobs amazingly well.
Amazing.
It's not the sort of car you would just jump in and go across town. Obviously it's pretty firm, but on a long road trip, continental roads and windy sort of mountain roads, it's mega.
This is one of my favourite M2 builds around, so it's amazing to see it in the flesh because I don't think I've actually seen it before. But anyway, moving on from the M2, we could talk about M2s all day. We've also got another absolutely mental E46 M3 track build. Is this painted?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this one.
Again, bought an E46 M3 a few years ago as a sort of quite poorly SMG problem, head gasket. And then during lockdown, I looked at it one day and thought, there's a build there. In 2.5 months, stripped it to almost a shell, completely refurbed underneath, powder coated everything, all new joints and bushes and everything. Took it to the ring. It's Porsche olive green is the colour.
Okay.
I kind of decided 2 years before that was the colour of my next project, and I didn't know what that project would be at that time, but that was a bit of a lockdown build, and I've sort of added to it since. So picked up a safety devices bolt-in cage, which, because I use this car on the road, I didn't want to make it stripped out.
While we're on the topic of E46s, it's not here today for the viewers, but Russ also owns another blue E46 M3, which is a full-blown race car. So this is heavy track spec, kind of as far as you can go before it turns into a race car. But Russ also has, it's up on the wall, has a blue E46, which is a full race car build, and that's very hardcore, isn't it? And he used to race that car as well. Maybe a future episode, me and Russ might head out to the Nürburgring and take some of these cars out with us. But yeah, absolutely love this thing, Russ. I love what you've done with it. It's amazing. And these two together, what a pair. I mean, absolutely unbelievable bits of kit.
I don't have a favourite out of those two, really. I mean, obviously the M2, I absolutely love it, but I've been in and around E46s for probably almost since they came out,
of course,
which is a long time now.
So it's close to your heart, the E46.
Yeah, from even PDIing them when I was at the dealer, when they first landed, it was like,
I need one of those.
So yeah.
And that was your background. Did you work for BMW?
Yeah, main dealers for like quite a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And how long has Swift been running for now?
So we've been running since April 21. Before that, I had my own BMW specialist with another chap. I've been doing these sort of things, racing and track cars for, but that was more fitting it in around my day job, whereas now it's my day job.
Let's move on. We have another track build here, but it's not a BMW this time. It is a R53 Mini. It's a pretty serious little bit of kit, isn't it?
It's a fun little car, yeah.
I've obviously owned Minis. I had a R56 GP2. I really do love the R53s. Yeah. It's quite an affordable first track toy.
My lad, when he was very young, used to love Minis. So we ended up picking this one up for £350, believe it or not.
No way.
It didn't obviously look like that, but we've slowly turned it into a bit of a track toy. And from when he was about 8 years old, we'd go places to drive it. So he'd drive it around. It's like a place down Essex where I think you can just turn up, put 15 quid in the barrier and drive around all day if you want. So he's done quite a lot of that in that car. Awesome. He's 15 now, so we've had the car quite a long time. Hopefully we'll get him to do some track days and stuff when he starts driving properly.
Definitely. And what have you done to this? Have you done suspension, brakes, seats, cage, wheels?
Supercharger pulley.
Supercharger pulley.
And light flywheel in it as well, exhaust system.
Okay.
Done some modified some bits for the suspension, so you can change the geometry a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great fun little car, and I don't use it for long periods of time. And when I jump back in it, it just puts a grin on your face.
There's something about these Minis that no other car can quite replicate the feeling. It's just a small, nimble, fun. I absolutely love it. But moving on, we have something a little bit different here. We've got an Evo 5.
Yep. So every now and then I have the desire to have something different from a BMW.
Yeah.
And it's various cars over the years. I've had, various Porsches, even a Ferrari. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, I love it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's a great car. I mean, again, something I don't drive very often. Just done a bit of a resto under the back, new chassis legs, which is a bit of a mission. But yeah, it's really nice under there now.
And apart from that, it's stock?
It's pretty stock power, yeah. It's on B16 Bilsteins.
It's definitely the best looking out of all of the Evos, I think.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that would probably compare would be, for me, a Tommy Mac Evo 6. But the 5, fundamentally, for me, is the nicest looking one. But yeah, I'll probably be selling that and probably the Datsun in the near future to maybe try and get something BMW again.
What would you go for?
Well, I would quite like a G82.
Okay.
M4. From a business point of view, it ought to be a G87 for another club sport build.
Definitely.
Is what I'm thinking. So, it really, I buy cars because I like them, and I really don't like selling them, but you've only got so much space. And you saw what a logistical nightmare it was today.
Yeah.
And this isn't all of it. So,
no.
There's a Sherma E36, which Tom built for himself in the 90s. But I want to resto that at some point. Even maybe leave it at the ring, because it will be German registered.
Well, if any of you that are watching would like a lovely Evo 5 or the Datsun truck outside, give Russ a shout. Swift Performance.
Yeah, catch me at a weak point of selling them,
And then snuck in the back here, I actually drove this car here, which was awesome. We've got a clown shoe, the M Coupe. And this is in absolutely beautiful condition. Yeah,
car I first saw in 1999. There was one on display at a ski resort when they were brand new, black and red leather. It was exactly like this, black with black and red leather. And I was like, one day I'll have one of those. So I actually had another one before this, had an Imola red one, but it was like my main car, and as a day-to-day live with it, I just couldn't get on with it. But now it's a complete toy.
And do you get out on it very often?
Not that often, but when I take it out, it's I enjoy it. I actually took it on a bit of a road trip last December. Went to Bruges and Ghent, and nice little Christmas sort of break.
Amazing.
I'd like to think that's a keeper, but who knows? It was nice seeing it on the road this morning.
Definitely.
Because I don't obviously get the chance to see it going along usually.
Yeah, well, it was fun to drive, so thank you for allowing me to do that.
Yeah.
And that is Russ's collection wrapped up. We've got a really amazing mix of cars here. 3 really quite special track builds and some other cool little bits. Thank you so much, Russ.
That's all right.
Absolutely
no problem.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you for getting all these cars in order, getting the workshop in order.
And cleaning them.
Russ has really, put a lot of effort in for this video, so really appreciate that. And cheers.
Yep.
Right, we have just seen Russ's incredible collection of cars over there, but we couldn't end the video just yet because Josh, who works for Swift, is over here and he has his absolutely mind-blowing M2 competition build sat right here. Josh, take it away, mate.
I mean, this is the better M2, is it not? Or
this could be the better. I don't know.
Don't get into politics.
This is a build that I've been following because obviously I'm an M2 fanatic as well.
Yeah.
I've been following this since the beginning, and I remember when you first got this car, I was like, damn, he's got an M2 comp. I really want one of them. And then you've just transformed it over a couple of years?
Yeah, I'd say so. It started its journey at Auto ID.
Exactly.
That's where the sort of all the styling side of it has come from. 3D design front bumper is probably one of the USPs of this car. You won't see any M2s.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
I think with this bumper, at least on this side of the pond. I know there's some in the States. IND have got one on their demo F87, but that is probably the bit that sets it apart from any other M2 build that you'll see kind of typically on the road. I guess the green is Alpine white underneath.
Yeah.
The green again is what really sets the whole car off, but the bumper, the TRE CS bonnet, carbon fenders, CSL TRE carbon boot lid at the back, which I guess we'll have a look at in a minute.
Yeah.
But most of the car started its journey as a bit of a show queen, so to speak. I guess it's an M2, so it goes well. But then there was kind of a phase 2 sort of element to this car, and obviously you can see, well, you might see in a minute, no rear seats in the back, so obviously bit of weight reduction there. It's got an aerodynamics wing on it, which is obviously a bit more of a track focused mod. 18-inch alloys from 2 Forge, so they're a flow formed semi-forged alloy, but still very lightweight. I think not far off 8 kilos a corner or thereabouts, maybe 8.5. Semi-slick Zestino tyres. I've flicked between AR1s and Zestino. You get a bit more tread and they're not quite as noisy. AR1s are much better on the track, but probably less a friendly tyre to have on the road as a daily sort of option. You wouldn't really want that. Recaro pole positions inside, the ABE version, so a bit wider.
This colour is a Nosotec midnight green, and it was done Identity Wraps, which is actually local to where my parents live down in Kent. They're good guys there. Yeah. Which I think just looks flipping incredible.
The colour started from me wanting the British racing green. Of course, a lot of us love that colour, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or opinions, but I find the British racing green a bit flat.
I agree.
The colour a little bit flat, like not as in a bad flat, but I wanted a bit more of a gloss, a bit more of a metallic to kind of shine through, and I think that's exactly what the Nosotec Midnight Green gives.
And can I dare ask how much carbon fibre in value is on this car?
I mean, it's at least the Adro diffuser. I mean, that's 1,500 quid retail price. I didn't pay that, by the way. They very kindly offered me a promo deal, but it's got to be in the region of probably
30 grand?
No.
20?
No, I'd say somewhere around 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
I think.
That's a lot of carbon fibre.
Yeah, because the front bumper, I'll be honest, when we were Auto ID, we thought it was a full carbon front bumper, but it's a 2-part bumper, and half of it's a CFRP, GFRP, so it's a mixture of glass, plastic and carbon. Yeah. So I wouldn't quite consider it full carbon, but yeah, the bumper's 6 grand, the bonnet's 2.5, fenders are 2.
Wow.
Diffuser's 1.5, but it's not necessarily about the expenditure, it's more about the uniqueness of all the different parts that bring it together.
And it's sat on
Bilstein Club Sports, they're actually Swift Performance spec, so they're valved, slightly different, so a bit more special than the off-the-shelf versions. I don't think you can actually buy them anymore anyway off the shelf. Lithium battery in it, losing a bit of weight.
Is that what they call
dead weight Industries?
Dead weight. I've been looking at them for mine. And then you've got the carbon fibre ducktail boot lid spoiler.
CSL boot lid, so that's a stunning part. E46 M3 inspired, sort of CSL inspired. I think it's a wicked boot lid. It works well with the wing as well. It's not too over the top, because I find if you stick the wing on it, the stuck-on lips look a bit weird. They look out of place. Yeah, and then you've got is it Remus system? Yeah, Remus race axle back with the centre res from Remus as well. So it's a really nice. Oh, it's the S55, so there's only so much you can do with it, but it sounds quite nice considering it's the engine that it is, and it's still good for track. There's plenty more going on with the car inside. Royal steering wheels, flat bottom steering wheel, P3 gauge, Stern Performance rear seat delete with carbon strut bars. 3D design carbon paddles, but I guess the bulk of the car is what you see from the outside. Yeah. The colour, the carbon, the suspension, and it's still stock. So not stock power, so same as mine. Not tuned it. Well, it has got a carbon intake. It's got an Infinity design carbon intake on it. That adds about 10 to 15 horsepower. So stock mapped, but probably up to about 415, 420 horsepower. Yeah. And you've lost a bit of weight as well. Yeah, it's lost over 100 kilos. Wow. I believe. Yeah. So we did weigh it, and it came in at around 1,510 kilos, just under. That's amazing. So it goes well. Yeah, I bet it goes well. And these don't actually, I mean, people do like to get the full potential out of the S55, but with the 100 kgs down, stock power is plenty. Yeah, 100%. And you can use all of it as well. I'm happy with it. Yeah. You know, I've outrun sort of 500 brake B58s on track, so there you go. 100 horsepower down, but set up and weight makes the difference. Well, thank you for that, Josh. No problem. And that is Josh's mental M2 comp. Track/show/everything, really. It's great. I love it. It's an amazing bit of kit. And that is Insane Car Collections episode 5 wrapped up here at Swift Performance. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.